Hey, and welcome to the very last video. So for this one, I'm going to use this super happy paper by by Maggie Holmes from her Shine collection, I think. And I just love this paper, and it's not typically something that I would use on a scrapbook layout, but I bought it just because it was so pretty. And then I thought, wow, I think it's going to be perfect for this art journal process. So I'm just going to cut it smaller and just Mod Podge it to my book, and then I'm going to really have just fun with it. So you can see it's the last page of this starting points for the pattern paper. So I'm just pouring out the Mod Podge on my book. It's little impatience coming through there. And I'm just going to stick it down. So I did measure it, more or less, and I'm just going to try and keep it the size of the page. And then I'm just going to stick down the other side as well. So really simple, easy, happy paper, and looking forward to just have a lot of fun with it. I think, again, I just want to say this, that if I did this page an hour later or an hour earlier or a day later, it would have turned out completely different. It's just exactly where I was supposed to be in the moment, and the way it turned out really just made me super happy. This is also, I think, a very appropriate page to have as the last one, because it took a little bit of work to let it come together. So my initial thought when I started out with art journaling about a year ago is to keep it super minimalistic and not to overwork it. Well, that's not working for me anymore. So yeah, I changed. I don't care how much work it takes until I'm happy with the page. I think it's just important for me to work it. So I'm just removing again the pieces that's not really sticking down at the bottom. And there's just one rule for this page, and you will read it in your tips and tricks that I wrote, and that is that you have to keep the zebra. That's the only rule that we're going to make for this page. So just stapling it together there, what a clever idea. I don't want it to lift up, because then eventually it can tear off, So I'm just starting off by painting it, and then I'm like, nope, that's not going to work, and just squeezing out the white paint and a clean brush and just paint. So I think one thing that I really love about having lots of brushes ready for me is that you can just grab a clean brush, and sometimes you want a dry brush, and that's so important to me. It's just to have a clean brush at hand, even if it's just to keep everything fresh. So I actually love the way that this page was looking right now. I was actually thinking, I wish I could just keep it like this. I love this looks amazing to me. And then just a wipe, and I'm just going to wipe and clean the zebra, because that's the rule. We have to keep the zebra. Coming from Africa, the zebra was so important to me. I want to tell you a little story about a zebra. So I don't know, I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but let's assume it is, okay? Because I heard it somewhere years and years and years ago, probably 15 years ago. I heard this story that, a herd of zebra is massive, and they all look exactly the same to us. But when a baby zebra is born, the mother shields him or her so that the mum is the very first thing that this baby zebra sees. And then this baby zebra takes the imprint of the mother in his conscious mind, and then he's able to know his mum out of the whole herd. He knows exactly which one is his mum. So having heard that story, we would often say in our home that this is a zebra experience, or you know what, I remember the very first Tim Hortons that we drank coffee in Canada was we still call it the zebra Tim Hortons, and it's just like the very first experience is sometimes the very best one, and you measure every experience after that, you compare to the first experience. So we would often say that this is the zebra experience. So I did a few paint splatters. Siri is Siri thinks I'm talking to her, but I'm not Siri, sorry. I just sprayed with purple paint, just a couple of dabs there, and I'm using that same purple spray, and I'm using this Tim Holtz stencil, and I'm just going to spray on it and then just stamp it on my page, and that's just to make some extra texture. So I'm opening up a new bottle. I think this is blue, and I'm just going to spray it off camera into my bin. I have a big bin just beneath my working space. And then I'm just going to spray it like that and turn it around. And then I'm just going to print it. And you can see how lovely that is. So that's also a cool idea. I mean, we could have had another chapter in this workshop with just doing this, hey? And you can see I put a piece of paper towel over the imagery that I don't want to spoil. And this is a wonderful way of making markings. So I'm covering up the zebra, and now I'm going to spray on my stencil, turn it around, and just put paper towel over it and just print it. So that's a cool idea. So this is a fun technique to use. You can use it on your scrapbooking, on your art journals, and just an easy way to get that beautiful, especially if you have a stencil like this one that has beautiful small, delicate detail. So that works wonderful. And now I'm just using a little bit of white with a little bit of purple mixed in. I'm just going to paint. So again, this is one of those pages that came a long way. And at this stage, I was probably thinking, no, I know for a fact, I was thinking that it's so busy. I have to calm down. I have to calm it down. So this is what I'm doing right now. Okay, so things have calmed down a little bit more and I'm just spraying with purple ink, and that is just to give the illustration a little bit more of a pop. So I just wanted something a little bit more dramatic behind it so that, you can see it better, I think. And now I'm mixing in some Prussian blue with white, and I'm just going to paint a little bit more. This is how it's coming together. And now I think at this stage, for the very first time, I was starting to think, okay, this is going to work. It's not going to be a disaster. It might just work. So just keep on working. Sometimes when it's not working, keep on working. And I love how this page turned out. I left the hello and the I love you and the zebra. And there's a few parts of the pattern paper that you can that shine through. What I also like is just how the stencil that we printed on that right part that I'm painting now, it's coming through. Even if I'm painting over it, you know what, it's transparent enough that you can actually see a little bit of it coming through, and I love that. Okay, so I'm mixing in some vivid lime green and white, and this is beautiful. This just makes it fresh again. I love the addition of this color to this page. This is the last page for this art journaling workshop, and I just want to take these last few minutes and just talk about what we've learned. Number one, this whole workshop was a huge undertaking for me. It took me probably a month to get everything done and ready and just working, and I would lie if I say that in making the pages I didn't experience some frustration and agitation, because I did. Usually it was with the process, and usually it was more of anxiety that my pages are drying and what am I going to do next. That was a big anxiety for me. But once I brought out the book and I just started to paint, it calmed down. So I think the anxiety was just in a little bit of the impatience in the process. So that's the first thing that I want to say. I think in conclusion to this workshop is be patient in the process. So actually, while I'm saying it, I'm going to write it down because I think it will be a nice little write-up for the last, just to... So, be patient in the process is definitely one of the main things that I want to tell you. The second thing is, I'm just writing it down. This is good stuff. The second thing is that this is a journey, and the starting point is just the beginning of the roadmap, and it just points your feet in a direction, and that's the thing that you have to think of when you start. Starting points can be anything. It can be with just a stencil, it can be with just crayons, coloring, it can be anything. You don't have to use the starting points that I did. I literally just thought to myself, what is my most common starting point? What are my go-to things just to get rid of the whiteness of the page? even if I bring it back later on. But that's not the point, you know. So honestly, wherever you start, it's just the direction your feet are pointing in. And then you just have to relax into the process and see where the journey takes you. You know what? It's not something you can pre-plan. I'm very sorry to tell you this, but in scrapbooking, you can pre-plan a page pretty good. But with art journaling, you don't want to do it. It's not beneficial to you. You need to hone and cultivate your intuitiveness. And that's the third thing that I really want to say. It's really a very intuitive process. And it's not something that actually can be taught. Unfortunately not. It's something that only comes through practice. So remember that. You know what? I think this is the biggest 3 takeaways from the class. It's the practice, after all, is the most important thing. Plus, don't paint over the zebra. I think that's also very important. So now I'm loving this page, but I need a little bit more drama on it. And boy, did I bring some drama. So I'm using the violet purple ink, and I'm going to paint. And already I'm thinking, yes, this is perfect. I fell in love with purple in making the last few pages, you know, page 8 and page 9 and page 11 is just a celebration of purple. So this is one of my favorite colors that I've used, and now I'm just painting it back, and I'm working around it. So I'm painting almost like a frame and fading it into the sides of the page, you know, and then I'm just using a little bit of the paint that was left over on my palette, and there you go. It's starting to come together really nice, almost done. I'm just going to blend it a tiny bit with a baby wipe. And you can see it's really dramatic, and I love it. I love all of it. So with the end of and the finished page here is also the last little bit of our workshop, and I just want to thank you again for investing it, for joining me in it, for sitting through hours and hours of my voice. I'm tired of my voice now. And here you can see the final page, and I did my journaling in white. And I thoroughly enjoyed this workshop. It is one of the most valuable things that I've ever done for myself in regards to my artistic process. And I just feel incredibly fortunate to be able to share it with you. I feel blessed and happy and fortunate that you can be a part of it too. So I'm sending you all my love, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on the interwebs. Bye-bye.